A long time ago, in a quiet corner of the world, lived a small bird with a gentle heart. She had no riches, no strength, and no companions, just her determination and the will to survive. One day, while carrying a precious grain of food in her tiny beak, the bird accidentally dropped it. The grain rolled away and slipped into the deep, hollow space of a large old tree. Worried but hopeful, the bird fluttered up to the tree's thick trunk and politely asked, "Kind tree, may I please have my grain back?" But the tree looked down upon the bird, laughed coldly, and scoffed. "Why should I care about your little grain? It's mine now," its voice echoed with arrogance. The bird, though small and powerless, felt a fire rise within her. How unfair the world was. Even trees showed cruelty to those with no power. Refusing to give up, the bird flew to a nearby carpenter who was known for shaping trees into homes and tools. She told him everything and begged him to cut down the tree that had stolen her grain. The carpenter looked at her in disbelief and laughed. "You want me to cut down a whole tree for just one grain of food? That's ridiculous," he said, waving her away. But the bird didn't move. "It may be one grain to you," she said firmly, "but to me it means survival." Still unheard, the bird flew with heavy wings to the royal palace. She asked for an audience with the king. Standing before his golden throne, she told her story, hoping that justice would finally be served. But the king, surrounded by ministers and guards, simply frowned. "This is too small a matter," he said. "We can't interfere in something so petty." With that, he dismissed her as if she were nothing. The bird's heart sank, but her resolve remained firm. She wasn't just fighting for a grain anymore. She was fighting against the arrogance of power. Not knowing where else to go, the bird sought the help of the elephant keeper. She asked him to disturb the king's next ride by making the elephant throw him off. Shocked, the man stepped back and exclaimed, "Are you out of your mind? You want to risk the king's life over a grain of food?" But the bird didn't care anymore. Her voice, once soft and pleading, now trembled with fury. "No one listens when you ask nicely," she said. "So now I must be loud?" With every door closed, the bird turned to the smallest creature she could find, a tiny brown ant crawling near a stone. She leaned down and whispered, "I need your help. Will you crawl into the elephant's trunk and irritate it?" The ant blinked, confused. "Why would I do that?" she asked. "This is not my problem." The bird, tired of being refused, shared her full story again, from the mocking tree to the dismissive king. The ant listened quietly but replied, "It still seems too small. It's just a grain." That's when the bird's feathers ruffled with intensity. She looked the ant straight in the eyes and said, "I couldn't hurt the tree. I couldn't make the carpenter care. The king mocked me. The elephant is too big, but I can crush you right now." Her voice was sharp like a blade. The ant froze. Never before had she seen such fury in such a small creature. Shaken, she finally agreed to help. The next day, the ant crept quietly into the elephant's enormous trunk. Within seconds, the elephant went wild, flapping its ears, stomping the ground, and shaking its head in panic. The elephant handler rushed in, shouting commands. Seeing no way to control the beast, he ran to the king. Alarmed by the chaos, the king ordered an immediate investigation. Soon after, the king sent for the carpenter and told him, "Cut that tree down. It's causing too much trouble." The carpenter grabbed his tools and marched toward the tree. But just as he was about to strike, the tree finally understood the storm it had brought upon itself. "Wait," it yelled in desperation. "I'll give the grain back." "There's no need to destroy me." The bird watched quietly from above, her heart steady. Her fight was over. Justice had spoken. This tale, though simple, carries a thunderous truth. Even the smallest voice can shake the strongest pillars. Too often, people believe they're weak, that they have no power, no say, no worth. But true power doesn't always come from size, strength, or position. Sometimes the greatest force comes from a heart that refuses to surrender. That little bird had no army, no wealth, and no authority. But she had one powerful weapon: persistence. She kept going when no one believed in her. And in the end, her cleverness created a ripple effect that moved kings, stirred fear in the mighty, and forced justice to rise. Life often feels unfair, doors close. People dismiss your pain. The world labels your struggle as too small to matter, but this story reminds us, never let the world decide your worth. Your voice, no matter how small, matters. Your persistence can cause storms, your courage can inspire others, and your determination, even in silence, can make mountains move. So never underestimate your potential. Never let anyone tell you you're too small. Because the truth is, sometimes it's the smallest spark that lights the biggest fire.